Why do you suppose I threw a chair at you, Neiman?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
The tempo?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know. Start counting. 5, 6,
And
7.
4, damn it!
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1,
Keep counting.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now, was I rushing or was I dragging?
I don't know.
Start counting again.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, was I rushing or was I dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference. If you dare sabotage my band, I will fuck you like a pig! Now, are you a rusher or a dragger? Or are you gonna be on my fucking time?
The audio?
Rolling. Yep, audio work. Audio. I will put the camera here.
Oh, God.
Should we just like have someone just like this?
Like multiracial selfie, and then
Multiracial?
Yeah, you know like the Impractical Jokers bit where Q brings up the camera and he goes in front of the black guy. He's like multiracial selfie, and then he takes it.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I need to watch more.
I love the one where he's like, I'm not leaving until I get a tan like you.
yours?
Oh my fucking, he takes off his glasses and he's like, oh. Welcome to the CU Denver Film Society, the podcast where Mile High meets motion picture. Whether you're lusting for deep dives into classical cinema, the latest indie gems, or forgotten cult favorites, we're covering your most craved cinematic moments. I'm Lleyton Senny.
I'm Broden Mock.
I'm Leo Callanan.
I'm Kristof Pfeiffer.
So let's kick back and listen to us fucking roast each other about Whiplash. So, our guest, Kristof Pfeiffer, cinematographer on Mon Ami, cinematographer on other movies that I didn't care to research about. Yeah. So, he picked a movie.
Cinematographer for that one person.
Yeah.
You better edit that out.
Right.
That does not go out.
Sexual, I don't know. There's a lot of sexual tension. Studio
That's
band.
not what I would call it.
I
It
mean,
always
you
comes
know,
to this, Kristof.
Yeah.
there's a lot
right.
of built,
I haven't watched
pent
a
up
single
sexual tension.
episode.
That's why
This
he's so
podcast,
mean
we
on him.
shouldn't.
Yeah, I didn't
That's why he's so
watch
mean
a
on him,
single
because
episode.
Well, also
he's-
like a father figure too.
Yeah, he's like stepson, you know. Anyway, Whiplash is about a drummer and a bald, angry man. So,
Leighton loves to talk. He loves the sound of his own voice.
fuck off.
That's a little
Okay,
screaming.
Kristof, since you picked this movie, what is your review and what is 3.5?
All right, I mean, Whiplash. Huh?
What's your star review?
My star review. All right.
Out of 5.
And what's your review?
All right. So Whiplash is like the super close-up, kind of borderline uncomfortable in a lot of scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Film, which is the point of it. That's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes everything about it. So, I mean, star review, I'd give it like probably like a 4.5, 4.3. I love everything about it up until the final scene because I think it just kind of ends. It kind of feels a little abrupt.
It definitely does. I feel like that's intentional, though. Right?
I know it's the intent. I just feel like
You don't like it.
I love the ending scene, but I wish it wasn't the ending scene. I wish there was some bigger finale to this.
So I say it's a 3.5 out of 5 stars. My review is watching Whiplash feels like jacking off with Icy Hot while simultaneously being yelled at by a wrinkly, bald J. Jonah Jameson. J.K. Simmons plays a human pressure cooker in khakis, and Miles Teller's drumming makes you think, is he jacking off? Am I supposed to have my pants down right now? If Whiplash taught me anything, it's that greatness is just one flying chair away. So, Broden?
See, why didn't you do that instead of reading the synopsis? That tells us everything, and it's fun.
That's a great intro.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny. Why is
Maybe
it
we'll
not
just
our
skip
intro?
the synopsis from now on.
We'll do that as the intro, and then we'll roll the scene from Whiplash that we recreated really horribly. And then
Yeah, forget this analysis. Okay, so I give Whiplash a 4 out of 5 stars. I think Whiplash is really great. I think it's amazing. I think it has intense scenes, and I think if you care about music at all, I think you really enjoy the movie. And I think the character dynamics between especially Neiman and his family are fascinating. I think anybody who's pursuing an artsy career path, film, music, whatever it may be, you know what he goes through with his family.
Mhm.
And so I think it captures not only performing art, but just the side that no one thinks about when being an artist. So I think it's great.
I'm willing to say like 4 out of 5 stars because 5 out of 5 seems pretentious, and I just watched it last night. But I liked it, and I'm sure there were parts that I can pick apart and not really enjoy as much, especially that'll probably come out during this discussion. But you know what? Broden said that it's a good movie about, you know, like if you appreciate music. I'll say it, I don't necessarily appreciate music. It's not my kind of movie, you know, like I'm not into jazz as much as maybe some of my friends are, because I have like friends who are super into jazz. That being said, it's really easy to. I think the editing and the cinematography make it so easy to get like drawn into, regardless of how much you actually care about the subject matter.
Yay! That's
Yay!
Whiplash. So, I want to ask the first question, since we were all talking about the ending. I want to ask, is the ending tragic or a triumph? And I want to say this because I actually like the ending. I'm just an asshole and I like ambiguous endings. If they're done to a good extent. Because it leaves us thinking, is he nodding because he realizes, holy shit, I'm wrong? I'm a fucking dick? I should slap a piece of cheese on that bald head? Or is he accepting, like, is he forgiving Andrew? I don't know what.
I mean, I think it's presented sort of triumphant, you know what I mean? It's a very, like, loud, exciting ending. I found myself rooting for Andrew. But does the ending's triumph normalize Fletcher's abuse?
I think, Fletcher keeps on talking about it throughout the movie, and it seems like if you coddle people, you're never gonna be a great if you don't push yourself beyond this like dangerous, toxic wall. But I don't think you need to be pushed that hard to be great. I think his way of teaching is extreme. And I do think he gets results, but I don't think that's the only way to get great results. I think it's just like, you can do it that way, but I mean, the consequences afterwards, I mean.
Yeah, and like he does get results, but
He doesn't always get results.
well, he did get a result, and
got
that
one.
was his one good student
Kristof
doing
coming in
fantastic
with
and then killing himself later.
Okay, well, so he in one of the
Well-
scenes he talks about his student Sean Casey,
Yes.
who was killed in a car accident, is what he says. But you then learn that he actually killed himself because of his teaching methods. So I dare say, like, I don't give a fuck if you make one person a great jazz musician, but if one of your students kills themselves because of your teaching methods, I would say that
You're a
that's not-
fucking legend at that point. You're great. No, I'm kidding.
You're
I'm kidding.
a legend for all the wrong reasons.
Leighton Senni thinks that Terrence Fletcher should have gotten a Nobel Peace Prize for his work.
Hell yeah. No, it's.
And we only know of one. Who knows how many
movie-
other
and-
students like the
Will Andrew go on to be great, or will he go on to just kill himself?
Yeah.
No.
The whole movie is basically
die
saying
young,
that
probably.
Andrew's mindset, Fletcher's teaching is bad, and Andrew's mindset is bad as well, because he has this mindset of, when he has that talk with his father, I'd rather be, what is it? I'd rather
alone, drunk, and full of heroin at the age of 35, and have someone at the dinner table talk about me than die.
Rich, sober, and
happy.
90,
No.
and happy or whatever.
See, that's the completely wrong mindset.
I mean, at its core, the movie, it's really just this, like, these two, like, clashing but not clashing personalities, because sort of at the end of the day, they both have very toxic mindsets that they totally commit themselves to. Hey, are you guys typing in the Google Doc
No.
and giggling at it?
I'm just showing a question.
Got
No,
it.
no, keep going.
Okay, alright. But yeah, that talk that Neiman has with his girlfriend, and he's like, look, everything's predetermined. I have to be great, I have to leave you behind. And then she's like, oh, so you're not even going to give me the time of day, and like that's okay because you're going to be great, and I'm simply not destined for greater things like you are. She was the only real one there who like really called him on his bullshit.
Well, it's funny because like the whole movie is basically portraying toxic perfectionism. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, this is yours.
Yeah, it's a critique on the saying essentially the strive for perfectionism is inevitably only going to be harmful, and what you should really, this is going to sound cliche as shit, but like you should only ever try to compare yourself to yourself yesterday if you are better than what you used to be, not to the person that is the best at what you're trying to get good at.
It's also Fletcher's manipulative and abusive thing leads Andrew to a path of success. So people are seeing this, that Andrew's mindset and Fletcher's teaching is glorified. The suffering and hardship is glorified, and it's glorified as a necessary for success. So that's what the whole movie, even though it's wrong, the movie portrays it as this.
Yeah, I think music within itself lends itself very well to that theme, because I don't think there's any other art field that encapsulates that more better than music. Because like film and television and theater, they have
They're glorified in media. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, and graphic design and visual art, sure, but I think music the most does that because because when you think of music, obviously you have like digital music now, but like performance art, studio jazz or whatever, because that's like a real performing art like that because you're playing a composition in real time, and so you have to like it. It makes the most sense to strive for perfection in that art field.
And that's I want to touch on it. That leads me to another question. I want to ask: is the film more about the pursuit of greatness or the legacy left behind those who demand it?
Excuse you.
God. Okay, could you ask me the question again?
So,
My brain
is the
fucking
film
fried.
more about the pursuit of greatness or the legacy left behind those who demand it?
I think it's more about the pursuit of greatness and that trying to be the best, as I already said, but like that the pursuit of being the greatest is harmful not only to the person pursuing greatness but to everyone around you. Like his girlfriend, his dad, his friends, his
classmates,
or lack thereof friends, his classmates, everyone.
He's a fucking loser, dude.
Everyone around him gets hurt at some point.
Yeah.
He yells at his dad, he yells at his cousins, he yells at his mom. Everyone around him gets hurt at some point, which I think drives home the point that, it's kind of hard to think.
That's kind of rude.
I'm trying to look.
I'm sorry.
So it drives home that I can't fucking think after that.
God damn it, Leah.
No, we get what you're saying.
Yeah,
We
no,
get what
I'm
you're saying.
just reiterating the same fucking point over and over, but
I have a follow-up question for
All right.
Kristof. Also, all of us are supposed to answer that question.
I don't know.
Follow-up question for Kristof. What do you think, what's the biggest, most important takeaway from the film, for you?
For me,
Yeah. What's the number one thing you took away from it?
shit, I'm glad I didn't have any teachers like Fletcher.
Really?
Well, I know I can't learn like that. I think a lot of people are like that, but I shut down if people yell at me. It doesn't, pushing me that hard, and I think same with a lot of people, does not help me improve.
Yep.
It just makes me give up.
Now, say, Andrew, he doesn't have a mindset like that. He's like a normal human being, but he loves and he wants to...
Kristof's fucking crazy and not a normal human being.
No, I'm saying... Okay, wait, no. Yeah, you don't have the mindset like that. He also doesn't have the mindset like that. But he loves music so much, he has such a passion for it that he's willing to take this abuse because he thinks that it will lead him to the path of success.
Yes.
So it's the fact that, yes, not everybody has this mindset. Not even Andrew in the movie has that mindset that he can take that much abuse, but it's also delusion. It's the delusion that makes him take the abuse. How passionate do you have to be for the thing that you love that you're willing to take this much and sacrifice this much to get where you need to be?
I mean, it's a fine line. It really is a fine line that you're walking to whether you... obsession is not exactly a bad thing. Getting obsessed with something, trying to get really good at it is generally a good thing until you start hurting everyone around you and you start hurting yourself, whether that be physically or emotionally, letting yourself get pushed around like that. Because I think at some point, he really needed to man the fuck up and say something to Fletcher.
I feel like he kind of did that when it was too late.
He did that too late. And then, one of Fletcher's lines saying that there are no two words in the English language more dangerous than good job, I think is, surface value, it's sure, that kind of helps push, wanting to be the best, never saying, oh, you're fine, you're good. But fuck are we laughing at?
No. Keep going. Keep going.
All right.
I'm listening.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
But at some point, you need to tell someone good job when they improve. It's positive reinforcement. It's it's gonna sound weird, but it's kind of what you do with training dogs. If you only bash them for the bad things, but never congratulate them for the good things.
Now you just have a dog with anxiety.
Exactly. You just got a dude with anxiety here that. Yeah. So you gotta give some sort of, hey, you did a good job here, but there's still a long road ahead of you to be where you want to be.
It's also on Andrew with his self-reflection is like his lack of self-reflection. Throughout the film, he doesn't reflect on the personal cost that he takes. He doesn't reflect on anything of his mindset. This really toxic mindset.
He just keeps pushing forward.
Yeah, he focuses so narrowly on his goal that he pushes everyone aside. So it's like, yes, we do need to tell people a good job, but it's also on the person that they need to reflect on what they're doing, how they're getting to that step. So it's also on them too. Not saying it's all on them. Like, it doesn't matter how much they abuse you or whatever.
I do think that Fletcher uses his position of power to manipulate him. Neiman doesn't exactly have like a strong father figure in the movie. His dad's kind of a pushover bitch throughout the entire thing. And I think the reason he latches onto Fletcher so much is because he's a strong mentor. He pushes people, which is what everyone needs someone to push them.
At the very least, he's there for him.
Yeah, he's there for him.
For better or for worse,
Whereas,
he's a guy that's there.
His dad in, I believe, the second scene, someone bumps into him and he says sorry. And then he says some bullshit about perspective. Like, it doesn't... His dad's a fucking pushover, whereas Fletcher is strong. He, knows what he wants.
I think father figures are super important. I mean, I don't know.
And I'm ready
gonna
to
bring
be
up-
your
No.
You're gonna be his daddy?
No, I'm not. That's just like
You don't
one
have to
of
call me daddy, but
There's
we can
so
go play
many
catch.
things going on. People talking about father figures. Somebody's talking about daddy over here.
Yeah.
I think we've touched on that.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
Kristof, damn it. Yeah.
Oh my
That
God.
was clean.
I think we touched on that, but we're gonna hit last thoughts from Broden because
Yeah.
we talk about father figures.
I just think it's important because I think, parental figures are like one of the most important things in people's lives. So I think a lot of people's problems or, you look at why they do the things that they do, it all stems from issues with their parents. I think either mommy issues or daddy issues, whatever it may be, that leads you into doing things. I think a lot of why Neiman keeps going back to Fletcher and keeps, he doesn't like, because I feel like any sane person would take a class with Fletcher and be like, oh, fuck this, this dude is crazy. But I think he's just so wanting to be independent and just have that strong father figure because there's this stereotype that comes with a strong father figure, and Fletcher encapsulates that more than Neiman's father, and so I think it's very understandable to someone who kind of has daddy issues to want to find someone like that. So
On three, guys, we can be your daddy.
This is a
1,
safe space,
2,
you guys.
3. We can be your daddy. Okay. I want to ask: can abuse ever lead to genuine greatness, or does the film perpetuate the myth of the tortured genius?
I think it takes a very special type of person for abuse to lead to greatness. It's because that's not a simple yes or no question. There's not yeah, it can, no, it can't, but depends on.
I don't know. I think it genuinely could, but I think the film doesn't even answer that question. It's so open-ended, and while Andrew, his performance with the drum in the end, it's impressive, and he gets everybody in the band, which I hated that everybody just joined him, was listening to Fletcher the whole time, and then just joined with Andrew.
I thought it was awesome.
I mean, it was cool. It was a great number. But we don't know. We don't know whether he went into a huge success, whether he became his goal. We don't know. The film never answers that. While it can drive them to excellence, it's not really necessarily worth pushing.
I do think there's a very big difference between pushing someone and actual abuse. Fletcher went way the fuck over that line. There is,
No, he was good.
there's,
Keep going.
I don't know about that, but there's, someone pushing you to be better can be a great thing. Making you want to strive to be better, and that can come off as pretty harsh. But I think where Fletcher was, which is nothing you ever do is good enough, so that makes you lose motivation.
He was a little funny.
He's so creative with his insults.
he's like a drill sergeant.
There's not a fucking Snickers bar down there. What are you looking
A
at?
Mars bar. He's at a Mars bar.
I want
There
to
are
I'm
some.
fucking hungry right now.
Dude, whatever happened to the good Happy Meal? The Beanie Babies that came in the Happy Meal?
You know the Halloween buckets for Halloween time?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've never had.
I remember I got one of those, and
then
then a homeless guy stole it and cummed
They
in it
don't
and gave
have
it back to me.
happiness.
What are you
Hungry?
talking about?
Hungry?
Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I think, what were we talking about?
Happy Meals.
Happy
No,
Meals.
before that.
Babies.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I
Beanie
think,
Babies.
yeah, he's Yeah, I don't even know what I would do if Fletcher was
Imagine
like my
if Walter
teacher.
Chaw was like that.
I was just about to say, what if
I'll be
Walter Chaw
honest,
was like Fletcher?
that scene where Neiman like tackles Fletcher, I think that shit would have happened way sooner than it happened in the movie. I think someone would have attacked him.
Oh yeah,
Like if you're
yeah.
bitch slapping your students, one of them is going to bitch slap you back.
One of
Dude, if
them's
he
gonna
bitch-
slap your bald head back.
Yeah,
That's all
funny.
I'm saying.
Because I don't know, I just feel like everyone in that class was like such a little bitch.
If
And
he
it's
bitch slapped me, I'd probably cry. But then I'd come back naked, rubbing my hairy butt cheeks in his face and giving him a pink eye, and then run out. Because like you don't just slap.
Why did I
me, you
agree
know?
to be on this goddamn podcast?
I'm honestly like,
I almost said no.
You almost said
wait,
no.
I'm gonna be honest,
No.
I really want to go to dinner.
Okay, so fuck all of you. Given the success of Whiplash, how can indie filmmakers view Damien Chazelle's journey in getting the film made? Because this was technically a concept
Yeah.
for a movie, and he
Really?
made a concept short film
Yeah,
with
so
Whiplash.
He yoinked one of the scenes
Yeah.
to make a concept film that was shot in 3 days over a long
Are you just
weekend.
interrupting Cal?
Yes. 3 days over a long weekend with like $250 as a budget. She was Mon Ami, but better.
I mean, no.
And then once they finally got funding to make the full length, they shot the entire thing with $3 million over 19 days, which is pretty goddamn impressive.
Pretty good.
19 days, and they said it was
There's
like
a lot of close-ups.
13 to 14 hours per day. Apparently per day, sometimes they were doing like 63 setups in a day, which is a shit ton.
It's a long
Very
fucking
fast.
day.
It's a lot of work. And then it ended up making something like 18 million at the box office.
No, I think what Whiplash does is that it's able to. I think it reinforces how important short films are. I think a lot of people. I was just talking about this with you, but I think a lot of people are easy to like and be like, oh, don't do shorts, man. You just gotta write features. All you gotta do is features, and
Honestly, yeah, I feel like a lot of people.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it in the car.
yeah, and I don't know. I think you should be focusing on short films because I think no one has the budget to do a feature.
Well, yeah, it's
easy
incredibly
to
hard. My high school film teacher always said, do shorts because it showcases like your skills in creating a short film was wrapping up a story in 8 minutes. But it's also like it's incredibly challenging to do that because nowadays it's just this sheer amount of like all these fucking short films, all these filmmakers on social media. Oh my god, watch my film! You know, it's like this 12-minute video of this dude riding his bike and then he dies and it's like it's fucking cinema, you know, and like.
Dude, that is what IMDb thinks Mon Ami is.
Yes, fucking Michaela. Fuck you, Michaela.
Michaela, I low-key agreed with some of your points, if you're out there.
Which points?
Oh,
We're
oh.
derailing this entire thing off of Whiplash.
Which points, actually? Yeah,
I
no.
No, literally,
Okay,
I told
ignore
you this.
him.
I've literally...
I don't give a fuck if he's pissed. I'm actually genuinely curious.
About Mon Ami?
Yeah, which points of
Okay.
hers?
The ones that stuck out to me were the ones in like her final paragraphs about the dialogue on the radios being like too vague in like a weak attempt to be pretentious and esoteric or whatever. Whatever she fucking said. I always thought the radio dialogue was way too vague, and I didn't really like how that part came out necessarily because it does sound intentionally. It sounds very shallow and one-dimensional. I know it's supposed to be timeless. I know, but it's just like it's like you took regular sentences and then like ran it through a thesaurus.
Go back to the
Fuck
point.
you for that.
Go back to the room that you're. Go back to the point that you were saying about.
Fuck you with your fucking fuck you. Okay.
I'm just saying. Just to play devil's advocate
I just want to
here.
say,
Yeah, but yeah.
you have all these
Just play
short films
devil's
on
advocate
YouTube and all this stuff and everything, all social media, and all of them claim to be great.
Yes.
Which mine
Not
is
all
great.
of them are.
Mine, you know.
I
Mon
didn't
Ami-
say it wasn't
Okay,
great.
Mon
I
Ami
really
directing-
liked it.
Lleyton, the directing is absolute shit, but the cinematography is top notch. That's all I gotta say.
I'm gonna beat your
ass. Sorry.
So even if your work is exceptional, you can have this Oscar-winning short, and in the end, you know, it could revolutionize cinema as a whole. But in the end, it's like shouting in a crowded room, you know. And I also want to touch on the fact that we're seeing this decline in cinema, where directors could rise to this rock star status. You know, have you guys ever seen that Tarantino? He hosted SNL after his first film, Reservoir Dogs. He hosted SNL, and these unique visions can be brought to life, but for some reason, they never are. You know, and you know, back in the 70s, you look at these filmmakers like Coppola and Scorsese, and they shaped culture with these grand narratives, and their names became household names. You walk down the street and you ask someone who Damien Chazelle is, and they're probably gonna be like, "Who the fuck is that?" You know. But you say La La Land, and they're like, "Oh, La La Land, I know what that is." You know. And that takes short film Whiplash, for instance. It's a perfect microcosm of this struggle. Damien Chazelle, who I just want to say looks like Carlos's half brother, an older version of Carlos's half brother.
Yeah, I can see it.
Someone pull up.
Here.
Ryan, can you pull up a picture, please?
Pull up a picture. But he presented Whiplash as a short film. He won short film prize at Sundance and eventually went on to become a feature. And yet, when the feature was made, it didn't immediately change the film industry. It didn't result in a renaissance for creative or original storytelling. It was just kind of there. It was good, you know, it gained success.
It didn't necessarily like change anyone's lives.
No. What I'm getting here is like the reality for all of us, we're all struggling filmmakers, we're just starting out, is while we have those chances to succeed, the scales of success is going to be much smaller than what it could have been if there never was this trend of money-greedy studios jacking out 6 remakes and sequels every week. They fucking remade Megamind. They came out with a sequel of Megamind.
Oh my god, the Megamind sequel is awful.
Are you serious?
And I get it.
So fucking bad.
We have A24 now, and we have Neon now, but realistically, artistic directors are a super niche thing, and it's so fucking sad. We don't have the thing where it's like you have these superstar directors. Nobody really focuses on them. They only focus on fucking Vin Diesel going across the mountain saying firmly, and then fucking dying, and then coming back again. Where the fuck is artistic cinema anymore? So anyway, that's my point. So anyway, what's your guys' point on that? Because like, I just wanted to bring that up. You know?
It's very different from a lot of movies that you see in theaters. There's no, I mean, there is blood, but that's not like.
There's a lot of blood.
A good bit of blood, but it's not like all blood and gore.
It's all blown out of proportion. I would say.
It's not like a lot of movies that gain the most popularity now, like that are blood and gore fests, action,
Marvel.
and they're fun. Like they're fun to watch, but they don't make you think at all. It's like, yeah, if you really think about it, there could be a meaning, but they're kind of...
A lot of people like to defend their enjoyment of like Marvel movies or like popular kind of like just like cinema, like slop. They like to like defend it by being like, well, I just like to turn off my brain for a while. That's stupid, man. Watch a movie to like learn something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then there's those people that like
it.
will take one of the most. I just reviewed a film called Holy Mountain. Holy fucking shit! What the fuck was that? And it's all 5-star ratings on Letterboxd. And I'm just like, what is this? People will review the film and they're like, oh, it's so fucking good! You know, like they'll fucking jack it off and like milk it. And they're like, it's like, no, it's not a good film. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's a good film. You can think it's a good film, but I feel like you're only saying it's a good film because it doesn't fucking make sense to you. It didn't make sense to me, so I'm going to review it as 1 star. But I don't know. I would say take The Godfather, for instance. 3-hour movie. Put it nowadays. Somebody makes it nowadays. Put it in cinema. Put it in theaters. What do you think people would actually review it? I feel like it wouldn't be as successful. I feel like it would probably win Oscars, but I don't think it would be as successful as it was back in the 70s.
I mean, it's got to do with like the attention span and like TikTok thing, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
No one wants to sit
I mean,
there.
Subway
I think
surfers
everyone-
on Family
I'm gonna be
Guy
that guy.
always.
You're gonna.
To quote Peter Griffin, I did not like The Godfather. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
How could you say that?
Didn't like it.
It's
No, I think that does have a really big thing to do with. It's just like the way that
It's just-
media is
I'm glad you got my
nowadays.
reference immediately.
Of
Thank you.
course.
Thank you.
Broden, what's your point?
No, I'm just saying like media nowadays. It's evolving. Like it's just you just have to adapt because the way that films were made and presented.
Yeah, but
and
that's just
shown then. It just isn't gonna work.
that's just
now.
bullshit. That's bullshit. It's that people.
But
like,
that's just how things are. Things just change.
I guess that's true. Broden, you're like right, but like Lleyton, you're also right because it's fucking annoying. You know?
it is annoying. I guess I want to go back to the good old days where you have.
Before they
these
let women
great-
write movies.
Yes, you know. No, I'm kidding.
Not high-fiving that, Kristof.
It's 2 things. It's like I hate student short films where they're like all these big metaphors, and I can't speak because I made Mon Ami, but Mon Ami was never supposed to be like that. I wasn't thinking, oh, this is so pretentious, and there's these big overarching metaphors. I was just thinking, wow, this is a really good film. I'm having fun making this. But you have these student short films where they take themselves so seriously and they write what other people want to feel. They don't write what they want to feel. I want people to write how you feel. Filmmakers out there, young filmmakers, write how you feel. Write a story that's true to you. And I probably won't like it, but I know a million other people out there will like it because they've experienced what you've experienced. Write what you've experienced, and you will make a great film. Might not be great to me, but it will probably be great to either Broden, Leo, or Kristof.
And how does this relate to Whiplash and your review of it? You know, Circle. I would love.
I
to
think it
hear
relates
Circle's
because
background.
Damien Chazelle has a
Yes.
love for. He is obsessed with obsession, and he has a love for jazz.
Perfect.
So, while many people may not really get why did Andrew stay there, why didn't he just stand up to Fletcher? Damien Chazelle understands because he probably experienced this. So why can't we just write like that? Well, this is not going back to what 70s and 90s cinema was. This is definitely taking what I'm saying of write what you feel.
Right? Yeah, I get that because a lot of people write for audiences and not for themselves.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you're doing a disservice to yourself when you write something for other people.
Exactly.
Like everything I've ever written, or I think that most people should write is like what they feel, experiences that they have felt in their life, because it feels more authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some films that don't feel authentic. You know, like
what was that? The one that's getting the TriStar.
Never anything, whatever.
Anything but everything, everything but nothing, something
like that. And that just doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel like this is an actual.
And that's why it felt like a TikTokification of cinema. And that's what's happening now is people, they have this euphoria look. It's going around cinema, and it's not doing it as much, but there's always this glossy look now.
It's too polished.
Yes, too polished, and
I can relate this to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
too perfect. Yes.
Because that's one of my gripes with the newer seasons of It's Always Sunny. It's too polished. It doesn't have the same grittiness, because the grittiness is what like made it funny. Now you're seeing these obviously
South Park.
Yeah, it's like now you're seeing these obviously successful and like rich and good-looking people. You're just seeing them like play pretend as poor people.
That's what it like.
You know, and it's just not like funny anymore.
That's the thing I love about Whiplash so much. And same with La La Land. All of what Damien Chazelle does is they're so.
He humanizes those people.
He humanizes those people, and he doesn't. He chooses not to make his films like, you know, just talking from like a colors perspective. They're all so unique. La La Land is fucking purple. Like no other film is purple, pretty much ever.
My first immediate.
And Whiplash. Jesus Christ,
Literally,
why is it so yellow? Like
my first like thought of Whiplash, I was like, God damn, this is a green ass movie.
green and yellow.
Just green and yellow. All
You
over
never
the
see
place.
that, but I think that is something that he does really well that feels unique to him, as along with his writing and his editing style and his what he wants the cinematography. Everything about it feels unique to Whiplash or La La Land or anything like that.
That's another thing I want to point on is like where we put celebrities on pedestals. And I know nobody in this room does that, but I used to do that. I used to fucking put all these directors on pedestals, and I would get so angry when somebody would fucking like Quentin Tarantino, who was like a big inspiration for me in high school. I would be so mad. No, he's not this, you know, he doesn't like feet, blah, blah, blah.
You're defending him from the foot fetish of all things.
But like now I realize it's like, dude, they're human. You know, everybody's human. Well, you know, I watched the Golden Globes this year. I was so pissed off. I hate the Golden. I hate award shows now.
I hate award shows unless someone I like wins.
I'm gonna sound like a fucking dick right now, but when Zoe, what was her name? Zoe Saldana or something. She won for a movie. Terrible acting performance. I hated that, and I don't know why she won, but you know, it's like, dude, it's not that big of a deal. I get it. You won an award. Cry, thank your father, go off stage. Not have everyone be like, oh my God, it's so amazing. Oh my God, Kristof, you fucking won. Oh.
I ain't winning shit anytime.
It's also like the Oscars this year are going to look terrible too because Sean Baker's Nora, while it is a great film, I feel like a lot of films right now are just made to win awards. A lot of people make films just to win awards right now.
Yeah, it's a part of that like writing for an audience and not writing for yourself thing. Because imagine you're a writer for some, you know, like big ass like movie company, right? You know, you're probably not gonna. Maybe you do write what you feel and write what you want to put out in the world. But that's going to go through like 1,000 other different writers' rooms until it gets to be what the executives want, until it becomes the film that will make the studio money and get awards.
It all goes down to the studios.
Yeah.
The studios choose.
How would you, honestly, like, how would you feel like as a writer if you created this great thing and it kind of
Fucking
gets,
kill myself.
it gets watered down, but you get this like, you get an Oscar for it? I would be happy.
It's not my script at that point.
I know, right? It feels, that's like, to me, that sounds like a very like cheap award to
It's
get.
like, look at Natural Born Killers by Quentin Tarantino. He took his name off the script.
Really?
He said story by Quentin Tarantino. Because Oliver Stone changed it so much that he goes, this is not my movie. This is the movie that he hates the most, and he wrote it. That's why I will never sell one of my scripts. I will always direct them. And that sounds really bad. And I know in this industry, you have to sometimes sell your work or sometimes do that. But I don't want to do that. Like, that's not me. You know,
No, I can like totally
Yes.
corroborate that because that's exactly how I am. Because I went to creative writing like high school in Texas, and we were like focused on the screenwriting part, and the film majors did the film major shit. So when we were learning about screenwriting, my teacher, Amy Charney of San Antonio, Texas.
That's my grandma's name.
Yeah, her name's Amy Charney.
Oh, no, Amy. Not Charney, but Amy.
Yeah, her thing that she was trying to impart onto us was you have to be okay with writing something and handing it off to someone else. And I was never okay with that, you know? Like, I wrote a play.
That's in high school, and those guys, like,
I know,
dude,
right? And
they're-
she's a real writer. She has, like, a Hallmark movie in production, and she made us read all of her scripts and workshop it during class time. And that would be our lesson.
she's like
She was a terrible writer.
Okay,
she's
yeah.
like, is there any points that we can't
Yeah,
touch on?
I
All right.
think-
You know what? Maybe let's just wrap up here.
Let's just
Yeah,
wrap
let's wrap
up.
up.
I mean,
Finish up,
Yeah.
whatever.
honestly,
Anyway,
we've
I don't
done
how
a
much
lot
do
of
we
good
really have
points.
to talk about. Like,
No,
I-
I mean,
I like where we've ended up.
I could start yapping about the cinematography, the color, the editing,
Yeah.
if I wanted to.
Whoa.
But I don't think anyone there gives a fuck about that.
nobody's gonna listen to this fucking podcast.
Yeah, my
Nobody
four,
listens to this
my
goddamn-
four subscribers
Nobody has
really
a
want to know
fucking
what Kristof
attention
thinks.
span. And motherfucker, I wish I could just go on a rant and just.
Honestly, I barely listen to this podcast.
Yeah, but no,
I put it on and get like halfway through.
I
Are you
actually-
serious? You're a member.
I know, but like I actually listen to
I
most of them.
never
except-
listened to it either.
Yeah. I'm the
I've
only one
never
who
listened to
listens
any of them.
We have 7 followers on Spotify, guys.
I'm pretty sure one of them is my dad. He doesn't
One of
even
them is
listen to
me.
it.
One of them's me. So
One of them is me.
yeah.
So.
I don't even know if one of them is
It's not me.
No, but I get what you're saying though, because I could never write something and then hand it off to someone else.
Because what if they do it wrong?
Yeah,
Maybe-
you know, because I
I'm
feel like
such
all
a
this.
perfectionist about the things that I've
Maybe
written.
that's what our generation of filmmakers will help move cinema past, because it's like right now you have all of these A24 pretentious, and you have these directors that are making these great films, and it's like sometimes they're not good films, but because they're seen as these artists and the A24 is attached to it, or Neon is attached to it, or it's like some film critics says it's new age cinema.
Walter
It's
Shaw
like,
says it's fantastic.
yeah, he still hasn't reviewed.
No,
Mon
he
Ami.
has. I have to email him as well. He hasn't emailed me back.
Did he say he was
I don't
gonna
think
review
he
it?
wants
fucking sucks, dude.
Dude, he's gonna answer.
Do
I
you
told
really?
him.
Do you really want Walter?
Yes,
Shaw
I
to
do. Okay,
review Mon
because-
Ami? Why don't you put it on Film
because
Freak Central?
I want-
And he gives it 0 stars out of 4.
Please
Then-
do.
then
If-
I want him to tell me how ass it is. I want him to be like, the cinematography is
I hope
fucking
he's
shit.
like, the cinematography is great, the directing fucking sucks. And
God, why does everybody have to dog my director?
Everyone-
I like your director.
Everyone likes my cinematography.
I mean, yeah, all the
Everyone likes
see, I don't look at the IMDb reviews. I want Walter Shaw, who is a famous film critic. He's like Roger and Ebert to me right now. You know,
Dude, I
Two
have
thumbs up.
looked up Walter Shaw on Tumblr to see like what the film community says about him.
it's
People are like,
terrible. People
oh.
dog him.
People don't like him, and they'll be like, got dogpiled on Twitter because I disagreed with Walter Shaw's review, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at him on Twitter.
I think
He's.
he
Twitter.
That's why we
That's
need him
Twitter.
on the podcast.
Twitter is where I
you
know I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
Twitter's where you get all your news. Same.
I
Stephanie
mean,
My
Corner.
dad.
My dad.
My
Our dads.
just dads.
We need a dad episode.
Yeah,
My
my
father's
my
dad-
dad's a
we-
sex
we need a
offender, so
dad
he can't
episode.
technically. I mean, he could. You guys are all of age, so.
Yeah, we should do a dad episode.
Maybe
You want me to
without-
bring my fucking sex offender dad?
I really don't want.
Your dad's dead. You just
My
bring
dad-
his urn. Here we go.
My dad is
Yes,
dead, though.
Yes, do that.
Yes,
Like
right.
Wolverine's body in Deadpool Wolverine, just a skeleton. There you go.
Yeah. And then I just like throws the ashes on your face.
Pocket
We're gonna
saying.
do lines of your fucking dad.
We'll drink it like chocolate milk, like they did in that
Due
one
date.
episode of
Oh
Due
my
date,
fucking
yeah.
God.
That's his dad. Oh, and then they'll like go up.
Yeah, so anyway, we touched on it. Filmmaking is dead. I don't know. Thank you all for coming. Kristof,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on today's
Everyone,
episode.
let's round of applause for Kristof Pfeiffer.
Yeah. I really do enjoy Kristof's presence, so I
I
just
do.
want
It's good to have a real person in a room. With
I would like you on Dario's Opus, but it's
Yeah.
doing in the production class, so I don't know how.
If
I
you're
don't
able
know.
to get me on as a
If
DP
I'm able,
or whatever AC, fucking whatever, I'll
Yeah.
You
be.
can be a PA.
Yeah.
This has been a great.
This was a great
This
episode.
is a great episode.
This was fun.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for listening. Whoever the 7 people that listen to this podcast,
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe.
We are the CU Denver Film Society.
See you next time.